I'd like to welcome everybody to part 2 of our part 5 series for learning all about senso.cloud. I would like to welcome everybody that is attending today. We have a really great group of people watching us live today. Part 1, Introduction to Senso, has already been filmed and posted onto, if you go to YouTube and search for senso.cloud, you will find the senso.cloud channel, and you can find these videos posted there. You'll also find some other how-to videos about how to use some of the tools that we offer through senso.cloud. Today we will be looking at network management tools. Very exciting. I'm looking forward to showing you guys these great management tools. Part 3, classroom management. That will be on Thursday, August the 8th. You will have dual presenters on that one. It will be myself and my colleague Owen. I cannot wait for that one. Be sure to not miss it. Put it on your calendar. You're going to want to see that one live. Part 4, online safeguarding. That will be Thursday, August 22nd. And part 5 will be Google Classroom Sync and Chrome OS features. That will be on Thursday, September 5th. The online safeguarding, if I didn't say it, was Thursday, August 22nd. Sometimes I get so excited in these live demos, I just keep rolling and I forget to say things, so I like to go back and revisit that. If you have any questions, either now or after the demo, when you're watching this on YouTube, you can always email us at superhero@senso.cloud. We also have a support page that you can check out at support.senso.cloud. At the end of this, there will be a live Q&A session. That part is not filmed and not posted to YouTube. So for those of you that are with us today, congratulations, you get to talk to us live. For those of you that are watching us on YouTube later, again, giving those email addresses, you can always contact us if you need more questions answered, or if you'd like to talk about pricing, or heck, if you'd like to see one of our demos personally or try a free trial, contact us there. All right, everybody, let's jump right into this. So if you were with us last time, and I see some repeat customers, so some of you have been here before, you'll notice that my portal looks different. This is because we are a modular solution. You have the ability to change the tools around, limit the tools up here that are on the top, add tools, take them away. You'll also notice that over here my groups look different. I have limited access to this user to a specific site and a specific number of groups. It helps when setting up so that as users log into the portal, they can only see the devices that have been assigned to them. And it goes even further than that. If you're interested in looking at the Google Classroom Sync, make sure that you're present for part 5, because we're going to talk about how you can just see Google Classroom for those Chromebooks. Now, speaking about the groups, you see I have the groups broken up into 2 sections. I have Chromebooks, which is again going to be my Chromebook devices, and I have my Windows devices that filters it down. When you create these groups right here, adding groups, you can add filters into them. Things like device name, remote hosting name, username, AD group. You can wildcard it. If you throw a % on the end of one of these, anything that is wildcarded with that name is going to automatically be added in. Same thing on the Chromebooks. So that's a little tip or trick for you to know about wildcarding. Very important. All right, let's jump right into it. We're going to go up here to the very top of our site so that we can look at all the real-time thumbnails of our devices. Again, I have used, we talked about this in the other demo, but we'll talk about it here again, that you can filter these thumbnails by logged in, logged out, and you can also take away the titles at the top. So instead of seeing everything where it's a little jumbled with all the full set of information today, really just concentrating on device name. We just need to see the devices that are in there. And again, we have, let me go ahead and switch that over to high so that we can have a really nice high resolution image of these devices that are live in our portal. We have Chromebooks, we have virtual machines, we have hardwired machines sitting there. All right, so we talked about filters, we talked about groups, we talked about how you can make these thumbnails bigger or smaller. So let's jump into the tools that we're going to talk about today for network management. Now, again, I have block resources open up here for us to look at, but we're going to take a deeper dive into that in part 4, online safeguarding, again on Thursday, August 22nd. Make sure you're there for that one. So with the block resources, you will be able to work in conjunction with your content filter and block website URLs. You can grab screenshots of this information off your devices, block content application keyword caption, take the screenshots on there. You see the detection terms, and below that where it says existing blocks, that's where you're going to be able to see the blocks that you have put in there. So the whitelist function, think about this if you had YouTube. You could block YouTube outright, and then you could whitelist specific educational value YouTube videos right there, and then allow only is going to let you build a list that locks you into a certain set of sites that these users can only go to. Again, we're going to go really in depth and show that tool in action on the Part 4 online safeguarding. So Client Updater. Client Updater is really great when we have updates that get pushed out because, you know what, being a cloud-based solution, super awesome. This will allow you to update it right in the portal. Once after the initial installation, anytime that we make any changes to it, our extension changes on Chromebooks, that updates automatically. The MSI changes on the PC side of it, we're going to upload the client right here. You'll see that the status will change from online to update available. You'll simply click into your devices, click on Client Updater, run the updater, and it will give you back some information. Yes, there's an upgrade available. It will give you some information about if the hash has passed. Then it will go ahead and download that configuration file, push it out to your devices, restart the client, and then you're ready to go. I'm completely up to date, so you'll see the latest version of the client application is installed on this device. You could update a ton of devices at once. You're not restricted to just one at a time. You can select a ton of these devices right here in the list view or in thumbnail view and go ahead and utilize your client updater for that. Command prompt. I know a lot of us like to get command line information off of these devices, so you could do that right in here. And I'd like to bring your attention to the fact that we're not disrupting the end user. They put in help desk tickets. You are trying to do some support on them. They're in the middle of class. You can pull some information off the back end of these devices using our tools and not disrupting their service. Now, again, because you can remotely manage them, which means you can take them over. You can go in and share control of the device with them or take full control of it and take the device over if you needed to service it that way. But before that, you could come in and run these tools and pull some information off on the back end of it. Disable the internet. Now, disable the internet, what it does is it doesn't actually turn off the internet on your devices. What it does is it disables users' ability to go out to a browser. So they're trying to go through Google, they're trying to go through IE, they're trying to go through Chrome, Opera, everything else, and get out to a browser to do something. They're not going to be able to do that. They're going to be locked into whatever is installed onto that device locally. And you see, you get these nice little indications here that the internet has been disabled. When you're ready to return service to them so they can use those browsers, you simply select your devices, make sure that little red indication has gone away, enable internet, they're ready to go. Sometimes lesson plans, they don't need to get out on the internet. It's something they're doing locally on the machine. You could just use this tool right here. And I'm going to reach over because, again, real time, you can see on this Chromebook, I can go back down to Chrome because I've re-enabled the internet, and there I go. They're ready to get back onto whatever website they need to work on that day. Disable USB. This is a new feature that's just come out. Have the ability to disable the USB on your Windows devices. You can allow USBs that are protected by BitLocker. You can have an allow list of hardware, a block list. And I will also show you, I know you see these save as shortcut down here. I will show you further down the line where you can save all of these as shortcuts, but I have made some shortcuts that I'll show you what that looks like. And you can also save these as icons, something that you use all the time. Save as an icon. It's your own little button sitting up here ready for you to use. Okay, in session, you'll see this little star that right here, that shows that we have updated this tool recently. We made it better, a big improvement on it, pushed it out to everybody, you're good to go. We're constantly making a better product that way. Log off, restart, or shut down a machine. You can allow the user to cancel the shutdown. You can give a customized display message, and you can also change the amount of time they have. What's great about this tool is it gives them a little box on their device that tells them it counts down, 59, 58. This is how much time you have to save your work before it's going to log them out or restart the machine. And I will bring your attention to this. We'll talk about this at the end when we talk about policies. Things like client updater and in session, power on, power off. These can all be automated. You could set a policy with a schedule on there to automate this. Every time you, let's say for the client updater, you set a policy, every time that client starts or every time the computer gets turned on, it will check automatically to see if there's a client update on it, run it. You don't ever have to worry about it. You could set a schedule to turn off machines at the end of the day. Think of it as power management. In the morning, come back in, 6 a.m. You could have this policy run power on all your machines all at once, save you a lot of time. So keep that in mind as we go through the policies. Some of these tools, there are separate videos that we take a deeper dive into specifically how to set up and utilize these tools, things like policies. So look for those on our YouTube channel as well. Error event. Again, remember I said about, pulling some information off of these devices without interrupting service. Someone puts a ticket in with you, you could pull some error events off of there. Everything from application, security, setup, system, really get some information off of those machines to help you close those support tickets for your users. Live chat. This is important to have because, again, you're not always able to get in touch with your end users. So with live chat, I've got to put something in there. You can have a back and forth conversation. You see that it's come up over here on this device. I've said hello. We can have them back and forth. You can't call them. They're not available to get on the phone with you. Instead of like having to open Notepad on there and type back and forth, you can have a live chat back and forth. You can see here, you're going to be able to see the information that they give to you. I'm going to go ahead and reach over here and act as if I'm a user. Let me take that out to full screen so it's a little bit easier for everybody to see. And I can say hello right back and send. Then if I close that, you can see this is where it toggles that so you can see the conversation back and forth. Lock screen. This is really great. I know this is more of a classroom management tool, but still a technician may need to utilize this tool, lock the screen somehow. So you can give a customized message. Again, you can save it as a shortcut, something you use all the time. Your screen has been locked, and when you're ready to get back to work, you can unlock the screen. I think as a technical support person, this may be a tool that you need to have just to be able to lock those screens. Lock windows. Now this is absolutely a really great tool that every technical person would need to have for their devices. I'm going to select, let's do US Office 2. I'm going to lock that device. Now think about this in a couple different ways. Yes, I can lock the Windows device, but I can also unlock the Windows device without having to have the end user's password. So you're off-site, you're having to remote back in and offer some service before or after hours. The machine has locked itself or the end user has accidentally locked it and you don't need to email them trying to figure out their password. You could use this tool to get onto that machine without having to do all that work. Logging, this is going to be part of our safeguarding, so we're going to look at that in the safeguarding part 4 of our series for safeguarding. Manage services. Be able to stop, start, and restart services on there. Things like Print Spooler. I know some of our customers use it for some cafeteria software that the service needs to be restarted all the time. Again, you could have that sitting there, have a delay on it if needed. Power on. We've touched on this briefly when I talked about scheduling. Power on for your devices is a wake on LAN feature that we have. So a little bit of setup in the BIOS, so a couple of options turned on in the network card, and boom, you are ready to go. You are ready to power on these machines that show up as offline in your network. You can select those machines, have a schedule sitting there ready for to power on using this Wake on LAN feature. Registry. Here in Registry, you can use key pass, value names, value data, string. You have options like binary, dword, keyword, import registry keys. Again, these best are be used at startup to change certain registry keys on your devices. Again, you can save these as shortcuts, things that you utilize all the time, or set it as a policy. Remote control is what we've been doing on these. Remote control is just simply taking over the device. So I've clicked on that device, now have the option to go into share control or full control, either one. I have the option to come in here, open up, work on this. Let me go ahead and toggle that to a little bit higher resolution for us. Yeah, so we can see a little bit better. Offer service, show people where things are. This is how you open your email. This is where I need you to save into this shared folder. This is where this icon is right here. You can push out Control-Alt-Delete to it. You can switch monitors back and forth. You can toggle it full screen. Heck, if you need to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot of it right here. And then we have some other settings for like legacy mode. So that's basically what remote control is. Now, remote logon, this is really great in a lab environment. Be able to select those devices and remotely log on to those devices. So during testing, the little kiddos come in, you need to remotely log on. You'd put their username right here. Domain, if you leave it blank, it's going to log on locally to a set of devices all at once. Remote scripting, you utilize a lot of Visual Basic, batch files, PowerShell. You could have those copy paste right in here, have the script, save it as a shortcut. It follows you around. You're ready to rock and roll. TestNav. Now, TestNav, if you're familiar with online testing, you're wondering to yourself, why is TestNav sitting there? Well, I'll tell you why, because that's something that I have utilized with our brand new tool, Restrict PC. This is really great. You have the ability to restrict applications that you can open up on a Windows device. So on here you see we've given you some basic ones. You could just say these are calculator, exam write pad, Chrome browser. If you turn these on or off, these are the only things that they can do on these devices. So what I have done is I have actually saved it as a shortcut, and when I save it as a shortcut, I also get the option to save it as an icon. So I have saved TestNav as an icon because that's something I utilize all the time. So I'm going to select this device. So again, I could select multiple devices. I'm not tied in just one at a time. And I've said the only thing that can work on here is TestNav in a state testing scenario. So you open up a device. This is something you use all the time. So now I've clicked on that button. I've selected my device. It's going to say, okay, you can't run anything on this except TestNav. So let's try to open up a browser. Let's try to go to Firefox. It's going to say, no, I can't get you anywhere into Firefox. You can't do that. Or let's try to open up a game or something. Nope, it's been blocked. But if we go over here to TestNav, it's going to work just fine because we have said, yes, TestNav can run on here because it was part of this restrict PC that we allowed in there. When we're at the end of the day, when we're done and we want them to have access to everything on there, we simply just run restrict PC again, have everything toggled off and click run, and now everything on that device is open back up like normal and they can utilize the device. And because typically you do testing in a lab, you're going to want to give them access to get back online and do things after testing is over. Very handy tool, saves you a lot of time getting ready for state testing. Again, I have another icon here for Run Application and Website. This is a great place to save a shortcut, so I'm going to select my devices. I have a shortcut right here to run senso.cloud. That's our website. It's going to push them out to all of these devices automatically. You see I just built that right there, saved it as a shortcut. Man, I use this site all the time. I want to have a one-click button. Boom, right there. I saved it as an icon. Senso.cloud opens up on there. Great thing about this, you can also use this to run applications. So on like a PC device, let's switch that over to application and let's just say something like Notepad, just for an example. Let's run Notepad on this device. Going to click run. It's going to open up an application on there. This could be thought of as like keyboarding software, anything like that that you have loaded onto these devices. Now, Chromebook's a little bit different. You can run extensions on there. You can save, they all have extensions IDs. You just save that extension ID over here as a shortcut, something like Google Docs, and you can open up extensions on those Chromebooks. You'll see right here, all I've done is copied and pasted that extension ID, saved it as a shortcut over there, and I can help those kiddos when they need some additional help. I don't know how to open up Google Drive. I can't get into my email. How do I get into Sheets? How do I open up, all these different items that they have? You could have it saved right here, select their device, have that application name saved, be able to open it for them. Send file and document. All you'd have to do for this is upload any of your files right here. These can be JPEGs, PNGs, PDFs, lesson plans that you want to send out to people. Maybe they're MSIs, maybe they're EXEs, executables used all the time. And because this is a cloud-based software, it's going to follow your account around. So you always have access to these, even off-site. You'll be able to select these files that you need to push out to your users. They're always ready to go wherever you are. So right now I just have a JPEG out there. I can give it some specific information. I want to save it to this specific location. On Chromebooks, if you leave this blank, it's going to show them where they can copy it to the clipboard or save it to their cloud drive. On PC devices, it actually creates a folder in the documents that says Senso received files. We're going to put it there for you automatically, but you can change that. You have a shared home drive that you want them to save everything in, My Documents. You can put that information here. Give it some arguments that you want to have run with this file. Automatically run after sending. In an AD environment, you can put in your username and password and domain, especially if it's something like an MSI or executable that you need elevated privileges to run. Right here. you're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and send this out to our devices. What's going to do, you'll see on the Chromebooks there, it's going to pop up, give us to show in folder or copy to clipboard so that we can put it in that cloud drive. Now on the PC side of it, what's happening over here is because I didn't give it a specific, I wanted it to go here, it's going to go ahead and save it into, like I said before, Documents, Senso received files, and it's going to be saved right in here for us. There's that cloud logo that we sent out to it. All right. Send message. This is a little bit different than live chat. This is just a static message. So you can select those devices. We can select all our devices on this if we'd like to. And again, we can send a message to all of those devices. Click run, and you see it toggles it up right here. Now, something to help your teachers as they're utilizing this. You know, right here, this is going to slide down out of the way, but I'll bring your attention to that little number right there. That lets them know that, hey, if this slides down out of the way, you know, we've sent you some messages. We have some things we need you to look at. So if they click on that, they're going to be able to see that they have some message in there. They have some files that have been sent to them. And the great thing about that, I'll show you on here. See where it says super text right there? That's my console username. You can go up here in your profile, or when the organizational admin sets this up for you originally, they can assign you Mrs. Nelson, Mr. Johnson, you know, your console username. So as you're sending messages to your users or you're chatting with them, they know who it's coming from. You know, they recognize that name on there that, hey, you know, super text, that's me, is wanting to talk to them or give them some information. So that's just part of it, is that you have your console name added in. All right, software search. This is really great if you're installing something and you need to make sure that the software on there is up to date. So let's say you have something that you need to see if it's going to run with the Firefox version you have on there. So on this one, I have Mozilla Firefox and it is version 68. So if you're looking for a specific piece of software just to see if it's installed on there, you need to see what Office version is on there. You know, I can't remember what kind of Adobe Acrobat I've got on there, what kind of Adobe Reader I need. Use this tool, select your devices, get that information back. It's going to be very helpful for you. Software info. Take a deeper dive on these devices, get back information. You can do an overview where you can get system details, you know, what's the operating system on it, what's the hardware in it, what's the MAC address, IP address, that sort of information, all the way down to, you know what, I don't need to run across my entire school district to find out how many banks of memory are installed on this. This one I can just run and say, I got 2 banks of memory. I can search for this part right here. I don't have to go physically touch that machine and open it up. Also, you could go down to support, you know, offer some support on these devices where you can get the service tag number, Optiplex 390, here's the service tag, go straight out to the site, get the information I need to service that device. So these are some of the very specific networking tools that we have available. Again, with all the tools that we have, you can kind of pick and choose what sort of technicians, the modules that you want them to have. Again, you can also restrict access over here in the admin center. I'm going to switch over to the admin center. Maybe you want them to have access to this, maybe you don't. Maybe you only want them to have access to certain parts of it. You can be very restrictive when you set up these roles for your users as to what they can and can't see. Talk about detection libraries, when we talk about safeguarding, the settings, the downloads are right here, so you can log into your portal on any device, download, put your Senso on there. You know, you don't have to have that shared drive. You don't have to drive that flash drive around with you. You can just download it right here, ready to go. Your license is ready. And it goes right out to our support page from here if you need it. We also have a live chat available for support. If you're a customer and you ever need some live support with us, there you go. Just click on that, get out to chat, and then over here, if you go to our support page, here's our main support page. You can search for information right within here. So I believe right now I am at the end of my time. Okay, we're going to switch back to our home page now. So I'd like to thank everybody that is joining us live. For that part of the live viewing of it, we're going to start taking our live question and answers now. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, this is the end of it for you. I appreciate your time today. Make sure that you reach out to us either at superhero@senso.cloud or find us on our support page. All right, time for Q&A. Let's go.